Nike's apology to Caitlin Clark shook the sports world in a way no one saw coming. It wasn't the usual brand apology, the kind filled with polished corporate jargon and canned responses. This one felt genuine, surprising, and even a bit awkward, in a good way. Nike, the kingpin of athletic wear, was caught in an unusual position, forced to address a rising star they had unintentionally overlooked. And to add salt to the wound, it happened right after Clark's mega deal with Adidas, Nike's longtime rival. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Caitlin Clark, the sharpshooting basketball sensation from Iowa, has become a household name in college sports. Known for her incredible court vision and her three-point bombs from way beyond the arc, Clark has a swagger that makes her hard to miss. She's not just a scorer. She's a playmaker with a flair for the dramatic, making her one of the hottest prospects to ever hit women's basketball. Her game screams confidence, and her impact is undeniable. Yet somehow, amidst all her soaring success, Nike seemed to miss the train, only realizing their mistake when it was too late. Clark signed a jaw-dropping endorsement deal with Adidas, and Nike was left standing on the sidelines, watching as one of the brightest stars slipped right through their fingers. The apology was stunning, not just because it came from Nike, but because it came in such a public way. Nike, for all its branding genius, had rarely if ever been seen scrambling like this. But when Caitlin Clark dropped her bombshell Adidas deal, it was a shock to many who assumed she would naturally go with Nike, the brand that's been tied to basketball culture for decades. The fact that she went with Adidas instead was a statement, and it left Nike in a spot they weren't used to, embarrassed and playing catch-up. Nike's public apology was laced with sincerity, though it had that unmistakable undertone of "we messed up, and we know it." They acknowledged her incredible talent, and admitted they had missed a key opportunity to engage with her before she signed with their competitor. It was one of those moments where a giant company showed its human side, saying in not so many words, "We blew it, but we still see how great you are." This move by Nike left fans everywhere stunned. For one, big brands like Nike rarely, if ever, admit they made a mistake, much less publicly grovel like they did with Clark. But what made it even more jarring was that Caitlin Clark didn't just slip under the radar. She exploded onto the scene, and everyone knew she was going to be a game-changer. How Nike, the brand with its finger usually on the pulse of talent, didn't see this coming left many scratching their heads. The apology wasn't just an acknowledgement of Clark's greatness. It was also an admission that they had underestimated her reach and influence. Fans, of course, had a field day with the entire scenario. Social media was ablaze with comments, memes, and jokes. Some likened Nike's apology to a bad breakup, with Nike realizing too late that they had taken Clark for granted. The memes practically wrote themselves. Nike begging at the door with flowers, while Clark, decked out in her fresh Adidas gear, smirked and closed the door in their face. Others pointed out the irony of Nike, a company that's built its empire on spotting and signing top-tier talent, being outplayed by Adidas in this high-stakes game. What made this story even juicier was Caitlin Clark herself. Known for her killer instinct on the court, she's not the type to mince words or shy away from confrontation. While she didn't rub it in Nike's face, she handled the whole situation with the same cool demeanor she brings to the game. In interviews, Clark maintained her professionalism, emphasizing her excitement about the Adidas partnership and how it aligned with her values. Her response only added to her legend. It was a young athlete who not only dominated on the court, but also carried herself with the poise of a seasoned pro. The timing of it all couldn't have been worse for Nike. In the competitive world of athletic endorsements, where timing and relationships are everything, missing out on an athlete of Clark's caliber was a major setback. Adidas had swooped in with perfect precision, offering Clark a deal that matched her ambition and, clearly, her style. The partnership between Clark and Adidas had all the makings of a perfect fit, while Nike was left scrambling to pick up the pieces. For Nike, this apology marked a significant moment. It was a rare, almost humbling, acknowledgement from a company that prides itself on being the front-runner in the sports industry. Nike is typically the brand making the moves, not responding to them. But in this case, they were playing catch-up, admitting they had miscalculated and trying to save face in the process. It was a shift in dynamic, a moment where the corporate giant was forced to acknowledge that even they could be outmaneuvered. Clark's Adidas deal, meanwhile, is a massive win for both her and the brand. It's a testament to the power of women's sports and the growing recognition of athletes like Clark, who are pushing the boundaries and changing the game. For Adidas, signing Clark was a masterstroke. They've long been seen as the underdog in the basketball world compared to Nike, but securing a star like Clark puts them in a stronger position than ever. It's a move that shows Adidas isn't just playing second fiddle anymore. They're serious contenders, and they've got the talent to prove it. As for Clark, this deal catapults her even further into the spotlight. Already a star in the college basketball world, her partnership with Adidas elevates her status off the court as well. She's no longer just an athlete to watch. She's a brand, a name that resonates far beyond the hardwood. It's the kind of endorsement that not only solidifies her position as a top-tier athlete, but also sets her up for a future that's bright with opportunities. Fans are eager to see how this partnership will unfold. Will Adidas capitalize on Clark's stardom with new signature shoes or apparel lines? What kind of influence will Clark have on the brand's direction in the basketball market? These are the kinds of questions swirling around as people watch this new chapter of her career unfold. While the immediate impact is clear, Adidas has won big. The long-term implications could be even more significant, especially if Clark continues to rise in the basketball world. For Nike, this was a lesson learned the hard way. They've long dominated the athlete endorsement game, but Caitlin Clark's Adidas deal is proof that even giants can trip up. In this case, it wasn't just about losing out on a talented player. It was about missing the chance to align with an athlete who embodies the future of women's basketball. Nike's apology, as stunning as it was, won't change the fact that they missed out on a generational talent. But in the ever-competitive world of sports branding, it serves as a reminder that no one, not even the biggest players, can afford to rest on their laurels. In the end, Caitlin Clark's story is one of triumph, not just for her individual success, but for what it signifies in the broader context of women's sports. Her Adidas deal represents a shifting tide, where women athletes are commanding the same kind of respect, attention, and financial backing as their male counterparts. It's a sign that the sports world is evolving, and athletes like Clark are leading the charge. For Nike, the apology was a step in the right direction, a recognition that they were slow to act. But for Clark and Adidas, this moment marked the beginning of something much bigger. The ripple effects of this deal are likely to be felt for years to come. As Clark continues to make waves on the court, her influence off it will only grow. She's a player who transcends the game, and now, with Adidas by her side, she's poised to take her brand to new heights. Whether it's signature shoes, apparel, or even future business ventures, Clark's star is on the rise, and Adidas is smartly positioning itself at the center of it all. Nike, meanwhile, will no doubt bounce back. They're too big not to. But this misstep will linger, a reminder that even the most powerful companies can falter. The apology to Clark might have been well-intentioned, but it won't erase the fact that Adidas was quicker, smarter, and more in tune with what Clark was looking for. It's a rare moment of vulnerability for a brand that usually has everything under control. But in a way, that's what makes this story so compelling, seeing a giant stumble, even if only for a moment, while a rising star like Clark continues to soar. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.